तव कथामृतम् तप्तजीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna and we are in the conversations of February 2nd, 1884, which is a Saturday, and we pick up where Master was that weeping, hand breaking and all that is over. Sri Ramakrishna taught the devotees how to call on the Divine Mother. No, where that also is over. Okay. Several devotees arrived from Shivpur. There we stop. Since they had come from a great distance, the master could not disappoint them, though his hand was broken and all that. He told them some of the essentials of spiritual life. Always he does that. Master, God alone is real and all else illusory. I would say essentials of spiritual life. The Sri Ramakrishna goes on telling everybody everywhere. Though he may be talking to bhaktas or jnanins or anyone, but this is the fixed item on which he builds up all his teachings. The garden and its owner, people get lost in the garden, not thinking who is the owner, not befriending the owner, and then he will tell you how many gardens he has and all that. So our business is with the owner, God and his splendor. So Aishwarya. Aishwarya means Ishwara's glory. Whatever Ishwar has is Aishwarya. So God's Aishwarya is this dunya, this world. So people get lost in the world. They do not care about the creator of this world. Whose Aishwarya is this? They do not seek him, which must be done. Because whether it is Aishwarya or garden, it is unreal. So we should seek the reality, not the unreal. But people look at the garden only. How few seek out the owner? So this is the preliminary when Shivpur devotees have come. So a devotee asks, Sir, what is the way? So what you have told should be right, but then how we have to proceed? Master, discrimination between the real and the unreal. So this is the next step. The next step is that you must think properly, discriminate what is real and what is unreal. One should always discriminate. We remember here on the second visit of Master Mashai to Sri Ramakrishna, he had brought this topic twice. When Master Mashai asked how to keep the mind in God, he had told 6 things, and one of which is this. Always you say, discriminate what is real and unreal, and then he added saying that always thinking like that, renounce that which is unreal from the mind. So the only difference which he makes for a sannyasi and a householder is that the sannyasi renounces totally. Well, the householder must renounce from the mind. One should always discriminate to the effect that God alone is real and the world unreal. And one should pray with sincere longing. So the next step is, first step, truth. God is a real, everything else is unreal, world is unreal. Second step, always discriminate to the effect that God is real, everything else is unreal. Third step, sincere prayer to God. And one should pray with sincere longing. That means you are longing to see God, feel God, love God. With that longing, you should pray. Prayer should not be superficial or mechanical. It should be with a deep feeling. Devotee. But sir, where is our leisure for those things? Then why should he ask? He means that we are householders, but they have come and they are asking Sri Ramakrishna the way. Then he must tell them the way. And after getting the way, if they say we do not have leisure, then what will Thakur do? But Sri Ramakrishna is kind. So what he does is distinguishes between two types of devotees. Master, those who have the time must meditate and worship. So he divides. There will be some who will have some time. All cannot say that we have no leisure. So those who have the time must meditate and worship. So these are additional points. Worship and meditation are additional point. Previously as told, discriminate and prayer. Now those who have time, he has added 2 more things. Meditate and worship. But those who cannot possibly do so, giving concession to them, must bow down wholeheartedly to God twice a day. So he had lightened their effort twice a day. Bow down low before God. This one must bow down wholeheartedly, so that sincere, genuine, that thing is there. Only time-wise he has distinguished. He abides in the hearts of all. So he has said, bow low. Now where is God? So he says he abides in the hearts of all. He knows that worldly people have many things to do. So you need not find the excuse that we have no leisure. God knows. What else is possible for them? So he has asked them to bow down wholeheartedly twice a day. God knows that you have only this much time. You don't have time to pray to God. Therefore, give him the power of attorney. So, one stronger dose he gives. If you have no leisure, give him the power of attorney. That is the highest dose of renunciation of I. Now you have time for eating, drinking, and everything, and you don't have time for God. So, what God does with you, you should not grumble. That is power of attorney. Give your responsibility to God. He will do what he wants to do. And we have the brightest example in the opening of the Great Master, where Girish Babu has been described. And there Girish had said, Girish did not say yes or no when Thakur told him twice a day. Then Thakur made it more, tagging it with food and sleep. That also Girish did not respond. And then, because he was sincere, genuine, and then Thakur said, give the power of attorney to me. Here he says, give the power of attorney to God. There it is described that he was in a higher state of consciousness and said this. And Girish liked it. But that was faster born than doing sadhana regularly. Girish Babu said later on that my sadhana is 24 hours. I have to see whether I have taken breath by my will or by his will. So here he says, therefore give him the power of attorney. But all is in vain unless you attain God and see him. Oh, this is one more strong dose. You don't have time today, but you want God. So till you realize God, this life is vain. No meaning in this life, because of which you don't feel time for God. So Thakur's teaching or the way to God will not change. Only the forms will go on changing, appearance will go on changing. So Thakur first separates. Some people will have time. They should meditate and worship. Fundamentally, God is real and everything else is real. You must always discriminate. Pray to him. Then he said, we don't have time. Then he said, we'll have time. They should meditate and worship. And you should go down wholeheartedly to God twice a day. And himself is proceeding. God is in your heart. He knows how much time you have. So you cannot be insincere before God. That is the lesson. Whether you have time or not, God knows more than you know. So he knows that you don't have much time. All right, give him power of attorney. But all is in vain unless you attain God and see him. So the aim of life is not different. Not only aim, but till then life is meaningless. Thakur's words tally with scripture so much. In the Kenopanishad it is said, if you realize God in this life, your life is all right. And if you do die before realizing God, it will be a great loss. Another devotee, so that devotee is in check now. Sir, to see you is the same as to see God. So he perhaps has more faith in Thakur He must have visited Thakur previously and is feeling that Thakur is incarnation or God. And so he says, seeing you, we realize God. But Thakur has used one more word. Huh? You attain God and see Him. So what is attaining God? If you attain God, you can never be separated from Him and see Him. So experience and permanency of that experience. क्या करूं इस पे टुकूं
इंटरनेट प्रॉब्लम इंटरनेट स्लो है
इंटरनेट यहाँ तो ठीक आ गया Don't ever say that again. All the incarnations do like that. They test whether it is very genuine or on the surface. You are seeing a man in the man form. So is your consciousness changed? So don't say that ever again. The wave belongs to the Ganges, not the Ganges to the waves. This is a form of God. So God consciousness is more important than the form. Now this is very much similar to what Shankara has said, the Advaitist. Satyapi bhedapagame samudro hi taranga nacha kachidapi tarango hi samudra. Though there may not be difference between me and you, yet I am yours. I cannot claim that you are mine. The wave belongs to the ocean. The ocean does not belong to the wave. So here, instead of ocean, it is Ganges. A man cannot realize God unless he gets rid of all such egoistic ideas that I am such an important man. So some people may pose that they have realized God. But that is an ego. Level the mound of fire to the ground, but dissolving it with tears of devotion. So Thakur is telling his real state and gives a general warning. And today we see scores of so-called godmen claiming they are God and ending in jail. Devotee. Now a patent question. Why has God put us in the world? So give attorney to him. Huh? Every responsible is he. Then why has he put us in the world? This is a vain question. Master. But Thakur has answered, to perpetuate his creation. God wants the play to go on. From God's point of view, it's absolutely a play. And if you ask that we are being troubled, then Thakur will say, who are you? So God himself is all, that is his play. It is his will, his Maya. So will and Maya. Will means you cannot question him, he is self-willed. And Maya means he has created a delusion. He has deluded man with woman and gold, so brings them to the concrete thing. So that is another constant theme with Thakur, woman and God. Devotee. Why has he deluded us? Why is he so willed? Master. If but once he should give man a taste of divine joy, then man would not care to lead a worldly life. The creation would come to an end. So same theme he says, God wants to continue. But if a man tastes God, then he will not live the worldly life. The grain dealer stores rice in huge bags in his warehouse. A wonderful example, huh? God's creation. Near them he puts some puffed rice in a tray. This is to keep the rats away. The puffed rice tastes sweet to the rats and they nibble at it all night. They do not seek the rice itself. So that is the type of delusion. But just think, one seer of rice yields 14 seers of puffed rice. Here the seers is a measure by volume, not by weight. What is the change? Air gets filled up and the rice swells. How infinitely superior is the joy of God to the pleasure of women and gold. Now this comparison is only a comparison. Here 14 and there infinite and finite. To one who thinks of the beauty of God, the beauty of even Rambha and Tilottama appears as but the ashes of a funeral pyre. Now, who are Rambha and Tilottama? The heavenly damsels. Famous heavenly damsels according to Indian mythology. And what is the exact meaning of Rambha? Because my friend, some brahmachari in those training center days, explained to me Tilottama. Til means the smallest particle. So the smallest particle of our body is best. That is Tilottama. Anyway, we need not think much, but Rambha and Tilottama are two heavenly damsels. And the Islam says 6 damsels will be meeting you. If you kill a kafir. Anyway, I need not see, but I'm just checking. Anyway, let it go. Huh. Yes, Indian actress, Faltu. Apsara. Okay. So even Rambha and Tilottama, they are supposed to be the most beautiful in the whole world. So even that appears as but the ashes of a funeral pyre. Now, India people cremate their bodies, burn it. That is the funeral pyre. And then it reduces into ashes. And it is not taken to be holy because it is funeral pyre. So like that. To one who thinks of the beauty of God. So understand, not yet seen and all that. He thinks of the beauty of God. Swami is coming on the deck of a ship on the Mediterranean. They are all on the deck because it is a starry night. And he sees that all of them are charmed and attracted by the starry night. And he exclaims, if Maya is so beautiful, think of the reality behind. Devotee, why do we not feel intense restlessness to realize him? So around the same question, the questions are rotating. Different forms of the same question. And Thakur is so kind and wants to help that he goes on answering them in his own style. Master, a man does not feel restless for God until all his worldly desires are satisfied. So, bhoganta na ho. And when will all desires be satisfied? Never. Unless he is struggling to give up desire. Unless, as Thakur has told, he thinks world is unreal, God is real. Unless he constantly discriminates, unless he meditates and worships, unless he gives attorney to God, unless he prays to him wholeheartedly, unless he bows down and gives him power of attorney. And then the desires get attenuated. He does not remember the mother of the universe until his share of the enjoyment of women and gold is completed. And it is completed in this way only. A child absorbed in play does not seek his mother. But after his play is over, he gets tired after some time. He says, Mother, I must go to my mother. Now the fun is that child is playing. Now I'm finding a difference. He is not playing a match with somebody. If a match is going on, till the match is over, he does not remember anything. But because child is playing, when he gets tired, no outside bandhan. So the inner desire for mother will come. And then we'll say mother. And he gives an example, concrete. Hriday's son was playing with pigeons, calling to them, come, teach tea. When he had enough of play, he began to cry. Nothing. He simply started crying. Then a stranger came and said, come with me. I will take you to your mother. Unhesitatingly, he climbed on the man's shoulders and was up. So, Thakur is an example. That child wants his mother. And he puts faith in anybody who says, I will take you to mother. Those who are eternally free. Now, exceptions. Some people appear in the world, they have no desire. Those who are eternally free do not have to enter the worldly life. Their desire for enjoyment has been satisfied with their very birth. So, because the world is unreal for them, because God alone is real to them. So, we find conversation turning round and Thakur's satisfying everybody with the loving answers, kind answers. Those who are at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, Dr. Madhusudan arrived. You know, that is all for Thakur's broken hand. While he prepared the bandage for the master's arm, here Master Masha had brought lintel and all that we read in the very beginning. But That doctor might have prescribed. The treatment will be done by the doctor. He has brought the necessary things. Because they have not heard up till now that he has bound Thakur's hand over it. While he prepared the bandage for the master's arm, Sri Ramakrishna laughed like a child and said, he had wept bitterly, why mother you have done like that? And then he says, I do not weep for broken hand. And now he is laughing and he is talking to the devotees. So that is called God's Leela. He appears as man like a child, in a second he is different. Why he is now laughing? Madhusudan is the name of the doctor. And Madhusudan is the name of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. Sri Ramakrishna laughed like a child and said, you are the Madhusudan of both this world and the next. Doctor of this world and doctor to take beyond the world. So anything suggests God to Thakur. Dr. Madhusudan smiling. I only labor under the weight of my name. Master smiling. Why? Is the name a trifling thing? That means if you think properly, God is not different from his name. No, there is a story on that, huh? Beautiful story Thakur is telling. Satyabhama tried to balance Krishna with gold and precious stones. I will tell the full story, huh? But could not do it. Then Rukmini put a tulsi leaf with the name of Krishna on the scales. That is called Suvarna Tula. That is, Krishna had several wives, 8 principal wives, they say. And Rukmini was his devoted wife. Satyabhama was, Rukmini belonged to a different country. And from there, Krishna had gone and married her. And Satyabhama's father got some money, Surya, from worshipping sun god. And then Krishna had suggested, you deposit this in the treasury, otherwise you will come to grief. He did not agree. He gave the money to his brother. And when brother went to forest, a lion or a tiger killed him. And a bear killed that lion and took the money to his cave and gave it for his daughter to play. Again, this is going. Oh. Satyabhama's father, Satrajit, he blamed Krishna for that Krishna had stolen it. Now, Krishna did not show his authority to arrest him or this or that. But Krishna said, I will find out that money. And when he went to forest, he saw that brother has been killed. And there he found the pug marks of the lion. He followed them and he reached the cave where that bear was there and fought with him and subjugated him. And that bear was Rama's time bear. Anyway, so the bear presented his daughter Jambavati to Krishna. And then This Krishna brought the money back and gave. Then Satyajit was ashamed. And then he asked his Krishna to marry his daughter. So with this history, Satyabhama was very much proud of her lineage. And she became jealous of Rukmini. And then Narada came and created problems. So she wanted that Krishna should always be under her control. So she consulted Narada. And Narada said, it is said in the scriptures, if you want to possess something completely, you should donate that. So she said, all right, I donate to some Brahmin. So she said, I donate Krishna to you. Then Narada said, all right. Then he started ordering Krishna, do this and do that. Then all the queens jumped on Satyabhama that you could donate only your share. How could you have donated everything? So in this dilemma, she sought Narada's grace and asked, somehow release me from this bond. So Narada says, if you give me in balance equal to Krishna's weight, gold and ornaments, then I will be satisfied. I will release Krishna. That was all a trick. Because Krishna, the Lord of the world, could not be weighed by anything. Balram and everybody contributed to whatever gold and ornament they had. But Krishna's pen of the balance would be down always. Then Satyabhama appealed to Rukmini, you please do something. According to the story, Rukmini invoked Radha and asked, what should I do? And Radha said, take a tulsi leaf, write Krishna's name and put it. That will solve the problem. So Rukmini did like that. Here Radha is not mentioned, but I had seen a drama in which it was like that. So now, as soon as she puts the name in the ornaments, that bell comes down immediately. That Thakur is referring to. So I hope I told the story in a short. And all this was to teach Satyabhama, then she accepted her form. That balanced the Lord. You want to know some more fun in that story? Krishna had gone to fight on behalf of gods. Satyabhama had gone with him. And there, no, before that, he had gone to fight on gods, and one heavenly flower was given to him. And he brought that and gave to Rukmini. Satyabhama got angry. So second time he fought with Indra and brought the whole, but he planted the tree in Satyabhama's courtyard in such a way that the flowers will fall in Rukmini's courtyard. So like that the things get filled up and Satyabhama lands into a problem like this. The doctor was ready to bandage the master's arm. A bed was spread on the floor and the master, laughing, lay down upon it. So where is his pain gone? He said, intoning the words, he is playing like anything. This is Radha's final stage. As if he is dying. But Brinde says, Brinde is a friend of Radha. No. Brinde is Radha's friend. No. Brinde is Thakur's maid servant. Who knows what is yet to be? That means God's Leela will go on continuing. The devotees were sitting around the master. He sang, the gopis all were gathered about. Thakur is filled with joy. I remember here, in the fourth meeting between Master and Thakur, we had seen the flow and overflow of joy, and we are finding it here. You know, Anandamay Kosh is the last before we realize Brahman, or the first manifestation of Brahman in world is Anand. And so we see the incarnation's life is full of bliss. Though he is suffering, though his hand is broken, though he was weeping like a child, Sri Ramakrishna laughed and the devotees laughed with him. So everything reminds him of some play of God. After his arm was bandaged, he said, I haven't very much faith in your Calcutta physicians. When Shambhu became delirious, Dr. Sarvadikari said, oh, it is nothing. It is just grogginess from the medicine. And a little while after, Shambhu breathed his last. Is Sarvadikari homeopath? Because in homeopathy there is called aggravation.
No.
Okay. It was evening and the worship in the temples was over. Oh, today very much vanishing. And it came, automatically it came.
Automatically.
Going and coming. The Wi-Fi field is down. It was evening and the worship in the temple was over. A few minutes later, Mahimachar and Rakhal and M were in the room. Adar arrived, huh? Adar, how are you? Master, affectionately, look here, how my arm hurts. Because he's asking, again Thakur shows his heart. He is not pretending, smiling. You don't have to ask how I am. Others sat on the floor with the devotees. The master said to him, please stroke here gently. Others sat on the end of the coach and gently stroked Sri Ramakrishna's feet. Stroke here gently. Oh, here means he might have shown by that. The master conversed with Mahimachar. Master, it will be very good if you can practice unselfish love for God. A man who has such love says, oh Lord, Mahimacharana. Is that scholar Pandit? And Thakur tells him love of God. ठीक है. Mahimacharya is a scholar, and Thakur wants him to. It will be very good if you can practice unselfish love for God. A man who has such love says, "O Lord, I do not seek salvation." The voice also changes. I do not seek salvation, fame, wealth, or cure of disease. None of these do I seek. I want only thee. Many are the people who come to a rich man with various desires, but if someone comes to him simply out of love and not wanting any favor, then the rich man feels attracted to him. Thakur's observation. Prahlad had this unselfish love, this pure love for God without any worldly end. Mahimacharya sat silent. The master turned to him. Will not allow him like that, huh? Master, now let me tell you something that will agree with your mood. According to the Vedanta, one has to know the real nature of one's own self. But such knowledge is impossible without the renunciation of ego. The ego is like a stick that seems to divide the water in two. It makes you feel that you are one and I am another. When the ego disappears in samadhi, then one knows Brahman to be one's own inner consciousness. So he tells him, Jnana, but in Jnana also loss of I is important. And that is what he was telling him, unselfish love. One must renounce the I that makes one feel, I am Mahima Chakravarti, I am a learned man and so on. So a direct hit on him is going on. But the ego of knowledge does not injure one. That is, after realizing God, if God is kept ego for service, Shankaracharya retained the ego of knowledge in order to teach mankind. One cannot obtain the knowledge of Brahman unless one is extremely cautious about women. Therefore, it is very difficult for those who live in the world to get such knowledge. However clever you may be, you will stain your body if you live in a sooty room. The company of a young woman evokes lust even in a lustless man. Graha atigraha. Our indriyas catch things and objects make them catch. But it is not so harmful for a householder who follows the path of knowledge to enjoy conjugal happiness with his own wife now and then. He may satisfy his sexual impulse like any other natural impulse. Yes, you may enjoy sweet meat once in a while. Mahimacharya laughs. It is not so harmful for a householder. But it is extremely harmful for a sannyasi. He must not look even at the portrait of a woman. A monk enjoying a woman is like a man swallowing the spittle he has already spat out. A sannyasi must not sit near a woman and talk to her, even if she is intensely pious. No, he must not talk to a woman, even though he may have controlled his passion. That is, for example, to others. All this talk, perhaps it is in front of Master Masha. Because Master Masha now and then used to get an impulse of renunciation. And so Thakur did not want him to do that. And he makes Master Masha afraid of a sannyasi life. Because we do not find his dearest disciples following this advice. And they won't go against Thakur's advice. So we must tally these two things and then decide for ourselves. Neither Thakur himself followed this. A sannyasi must renounce both woman and gold. As he must not look even at the portrait of a woman, so also he must not touch gold, that is to say money. It is bad for him even to keep money near him, for it brings in its train calculation, worry, insolence, anger, and such evils. What is insolence in Bengali? Huh?
Hisab, Duschinta,
Hinsa,
Hisab.
jealousy. There is an instance in the sun. It shines brightly. Suddenly a cloud appears and hides it.
Money.
Means a man of renunciation, if he keeps money, suddenly something happens. That is why I didn't agree to the Marwadis depositing money for me with Hriday. So when the Marwadi, Lakshminarayan Marwadi, was a great devotee of Thakur, wanted to give money to Thakur, he knew Thakur would accept. So he wanted to give the money with Hriday. But Thakur came to know of it and she had written to him immediately. I said, no, I won't allow even that. If I keep money near me, it will certainly raise clouds. So Thakur is the absolute ideal for everything. Why all these strict rules for a sannyasi? It is for the welfare of mankind as well as for his own good. A sannyasi may himself lead an unattached life and may have controlled his passion, but he must renounce woman and gold to set an example to the world. A man will have the courage to practice renunciation if he. Then only will he try to give up woman and gold. If a sannyasi does not set this example, then who will? One may lead a householder's life after realizing God. That is Thakur's another theme. It is like Janaka led the life of a householder after attaining Brahmajnana. All this is, he said, I will talk to Mahimacharya in his language. Janaka fenced with two swords, the one of Jnana and the other of Karma. The sannyasi renounces action. Therefore, he fences with one sword only, that of knowledge. Action means subject-object play. So he renounces it. A householder endowed with knowledge, like Janaka, can enjoy fruit both from the tree and from the ground. So Janaka's bright example is there. He quotes it to show the exception. He can serve holy men, entertain guests, and do other things like that. I said to the Divine Mother, "Oh Mother, I don't want to be a dry sadhu." So here what is the meaning? The Vedanta generally harp upon transcendence of God only. And that is not the whole truth. So if God is immanent, then God's play has to be participated in. And that is what Thakur wants. After attaining Brahmajnana, one does not have to discriminate even. The life becomes absolutely natural. Discriminate even about food. The rishis of olden times endowed with the knowledge of Brahman and having experienced divine bliss, ate everything, even pork. Important. Thakur is telling this. Now he mentions pork. Bengali Sikh. Shudu. Beef mentioned name. Now pork Mohammedans do not eat. And Hindus think pork to be the dirtiest animal, so they do not eat. Buddha went to Chandala's house and he fed him with pork to Mahima. Generally speaking, there are two kinds of yoga, Karma Yoga and Mano Yoga. That is to say, union with God through work and through the mind. So Thakur's definition, Mano Yoga. Enough, huh? Enough, huh? We shall continue this tomorrow. Tomorrow we don't have this gospel class, day after tomorrow. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavivirīditam Kalmashāpaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadatam Bhuvi Grunanti Ye Bhurida Jana. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.